Hi, my name is Megan Lomax. I am originally from Tucson, Arizona, but I live here in Utah now for school. I've lived here for about 3 years and I love everything about it except for the snow. So I am really excited to go back home to Arizona next week for Christmas break, get back to that nice, warm Arizona winter weather. There's nothing quite like it. But I live here in a house with 6 other girls, and we're all going to school. We're all studying different things. I have a roommate who's studying accounting, entrepreneurship, Spanish and Latin American studies, nursing, you name it. We're all pretty much studying it, and we're a pretty diverse group of girls. And I was hanging out with my roommates a few weeks ago, and they were talking about burnout. And I had never heard of burnout before, and so I was kind of asking them about it, and they told me. And it was right around the same time that I was trying to come up with a topic for this speech. And so I decided to research a little bit more, and I chose to use it for, like I said, as my topic for the speech. And so it was really interesting to get to study something. I personally don't struggle with burnout at this point in my life, but the interesting thing about burnout is there was a study done in Winona State University that burnout affects people from the age of 20 to 45, so there's still plenty of time. And burnout is basically just a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So we all deal with stress. We all feel stress on a certain level, and there's some stress that is healthy, and there's some that can become harmful. And burnout is more common, I feel like, in today's world because there's such a higher advanced rate of technology and transportation that we tend to have more time in our day to get things done, and therefore there's more things to stress about. So we see burnout more frequently. And as I was doing my studies, I came upon an article that talked about the 5 stages of burnout. And so burnout, it doesn't just go from 0 to 100. There's kind of stages that you see it. And it's good to know because you can tell if you're kind of on track for burnout. So I'm just going to go through those stages with you. Stage 1 is the honeymoon phase. And this is when we begin a new project, start a new job, start school, something new in our lives, when we feel that motivation and excitement and creativity as we begin this new journey. Sometimes we feel random points of stress, but the motivation keeps us excited as we get through these stressful things. Most of these symptoms with this stage are good and positive. Stage 2 is the onset of stress. So of course we start to feel stress. That motivation is kind of lowered because we're more established in this new adventure in our lives, and more than not, our days are stressful and difficult. The optimism we had, like I said, is gone. Physical, mental, or emotional symptoms of stress begin to appear. And some symptoms are anxiety, high blood pressure, fatigue, inability to focus, etc. Stage 3 is chronic stress. And chronic stress is being felt on a more frequent basis. It's more effective on our health and our everyday life outside of this new thing that we're doing. It affects our family life, our social life, our hobbies, things like that. Some symptoms with this are aggressive behavior, like I said, lack of hobbies, persistent tiredness in the mornings, resentfulness, procrastination, and feeling threatened or panicked at work. The 4th stage is burnout, and burnout is critical. That stress is becoming critical. It's when intervention should be discussed, and these symptoms include feeling empty inside, complete neglect of personal needs, chronic headaches, self-doubt, and isolation from others around us. The last stage is habitual burnout, and this is when symptoms are so embedded in one's life that significant and physical, emotional problems occur, and you start to see depression and something called burnout syndrome, chronic mental fatigue, and chronic sadness. So as we can see what burnout is, the most important thing is to learn how to prevent it, because it is so easily preventable. And it's so important that in our lives we find hobbies and we surround ourselves with good people so that when we do feel stressed, we can go to them or do that certain hobby to kind of take our mind off of things. And it's also so important to prioritize the things that we're doing throughout our day, from most important to least important. That way we don't feel so overwhelmed with the things that we're doing every day, and we're able to get things done. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn more about burnout, for this opportunity to write this speech. And I'm grateful for you as a teacher and all that you've taught me. And I look forward to using this in my life. And I hope that this was useful and helpful and informative for you as it was for me. Thank you so much.